Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Evans and I am a full stack JavaScript developer, a full stack Python developer, C# developer and a data scientist as well. I build web, desktop and mobile applications. As you know, on my channel, I have different playlists. I have a playlist for Git and version control. I have a utility playlist section where I said I'm gonna be teaching random stuff such as fundamentals in Python, C# and ASP.NET, Docker and Kubernetes, and yeah, cloud hosting and whatever I feel that is important to you. And then on the third playlist, I'm teaching how to build full stack applications using React front end and Python and Django for the backend and APIs as well. And then on the last tutorial playlist, I'm also teaching how to build full stack web applications using Python and Django for the backend, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript for the front end, and then using Postgres for database. But today we're not gonna be doing any high level stuffs. Rather, we will be doing the fundamentals of Python. Now, I decided to do this lesson today because I got, a whole lot of people who are absolute beginners. And so today's lectures is for absolute beginners. But even if you are experienced, and you can use some framework, there are some advice that I have for you that is going to be very beneficial to you. Now, when it comes to software development, I advise students to learn the things that don't change and learn in the traditional way as well. What do I mean by that? There are a lot of frameworks, We have a lot of frameworks for development. We have React, Angular, Vue.js. We have CSS frameworks such as Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS, and Design, and a whole lot of them. So frameworks, they come and go. But the things that won't change are stuff like data structures. It won't change. Recursion won't change. Object-oriented programming won't change. Functional programming will always remain. Arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, trees, graphs, sorting and searching algorithm won't change. So when you learn the fundamental stuff and the things that won't change, you're gonna become a better developer. So now or then, there will always be a new framework which the developers will market as the next big thing, and then you keep jumping from one thing to another. But if you want to escape that never-ending loop, then you need to learn the fundamentals. Today we have React framework, which is based on JavaScript. We have Angular, and then before you know, tomorrow another framework is coming up. We have Vue.js. We have a whole lot of frameworks. But when you learn vanilla JavaScripts, then you will realize that you don't really need these frameworks because these frameworks are built on JavaScript. So why not learn the real deal? So if you don't learn the things that won't change, you discover that you keep learning, one tool to another. And then even organization, they lose a lot of money and also a lot of time. When there's a new framework, or a new library, they try to upgrade their legacy system from one framework to the other. They ask their developers to learn, the next big thing. And then before you know, their developers are taking about a year, 6 months, 8 months, to learn the next big thing. And then after 3 years, the same cycle repeat again. So they lose a lot of money, lose a lot of time, and then sometimes, you discover that these frameworks are not even worth it. So what I have to tell you is that classes and frameworks, they are all built with the fundamental stuff. We have a lot of classes, frameworks and libraries that are built on Python, a lot that are built on JavaScript, a lot that are built on Java, C Sharp, C, and all the rest. So if you learn those core programming languages, then you can do whatever you want, and it's also gonna enable you understand how these frameworks work better. Now, take for example, we have a lot of CSS frameworks. We have Ant Design, we have Material UI, we have Bootstrap, we have React Bootstrap, we have Tailwind CSS. There is a Bulma, there is Semantic UI, and a whole lot. But are you gonna keep on learning endlessly? And then you discover that you're not even perfecting any. But if you learn CSS, plain CSS, you realize that you don't really need all these CSS frameworks, and whatever you can do with maybe Ant Design or Material UI, it still compiles to plain CSS. So why not learn, CSS? Now talking about Django as well. For Django, we have the ORM model where you don't need to write raw SQL code. For flags and fast API, we have something we call SQL alchemy where you don't also need to write raw SQL code. But then if you know SQL, then you can do without ORM, and you can also do without SQL alchemy. Now take for example, you go for an interview, you go for a Python development interview, and they are asking you to write an SQL based application, but you are not familiar with SQL alchemy, and you don't know raw SQL, but you are familiar with ORM with Django. How are you gonna solve that problem? It is impossible, and you're absolutely gonna fail that interview. But if you know how to write raw SQL, whether it's ORM assignment that they gave to you, or it's something that is based on SQL alchemy, you can easily use raw SQL to solve the problem. Now again, JavaScript is the most popular programming language currently, but it also happens to be the most annoying with its never-ending list of ecosystem. For example, we have JavaScript libraries such as React, we have Angular, we have Vue, we have Ember.js, we have Stimulus, we have Next.js, Sapper, Core, and all the rest. Instead of these developers to improve on what they already have, they keep on building new frameworks, and then you just gonna keep learning endlessly, perfecting none. But if you know vanilla JavaScript, you realize that whatever these frameworks can do, you can absolutely do them with vanilla JavaScript, because all these frameworks, they still compile into plain JavaScript. Now, when it comes to software development, my recommendation is that you do it the hard way, because the hard way is always the best way. Doing it the hard way or the traditional way may cause you to write more codes, but you will understand programming better. Your programs won't break, and they won't rely on third-party plugins, third-party libraries, and third-party classes always. Now, sometimes these external classes and libraries, they can be discontinued. Although classes and libraries can make software development easier and faster in some ways, but some of them can be discontinued sometimes, and then you discover that your application is breaking, and then you start searching for the next class or the next library to use to fix it. And then some of these classes and libraries, the external ones, they can expose your code, and malicious actors can take advantage and hack into your system. So your code may be vulnerable if you are using too many external classes and libraries, and your application can easily be hacked. Now, let's get started with Python fundamentals, and then as we keep on learning, I'm gonna show you some example of what I mean, and you will have a thorough understanding of what I mean. Now, if you've never used Python before, the first thing you want to do is just open up your web browser, and then you can search for Python install on your web browser, and then you can see download Python. You just click on it. The website is www.python.org, and then just click on it. You need to install Python on your system first, I'm not gonna install it because I already have Python installed on my machine. And so you can simply click on download Python, and the current version is 3.13.0. So simply click on this link and then install it on your machine. Now once you do that, there are a lot of IDEs you can use for development. You can use PyCharm, you can use VS Code, you can use Atom, you can use Notepad++, but then the most popular, and one of the best IDE is VS Code. So you can open up a new tab and search for VS Code download. And then this is what you use. Don't use this one by JetBrains. Just go to VS Code official website, click on it, and then you download the version that is suitable for your operating system. So for Windows, simply click on this, download and install. So once it finished installing, you can open your VS Code. So my VS Code is open now. If you want to be sure if Python is installed on your machine, you can simply type on Python space -- version. Now this is my terminal. If your terminal is not open, you can simply come to these three dots. Once you open up your VS Code, click on these three dots and then click on terminal and then click on new terminal. It's gonna open this terminal for you. Now once you type Python space -- version and you press enter, it's gonna show you Python 3.12.3. This is the version of Python I'm using on my machine. Now we're gonna write some beginner Python code, and the first thing you want to do is to go to your file and then just click on new file, and then you type the name of the file. Just call it, I'm gonna call it first, and then add.py. So Python file extension ends with .py, and then you can just click on create new file, and then it's gonna take you to your computer where you need to save the file. You can create a new folder and put it inside, but for mine it's just okay. And then just click on create file now, and then it's gonna create the file. So this is it, first.py. So I'm gonna teach you some basic Python syntax right away. Now we're gonna start with some arithmetic operations. So if I want to add two numbers in Python, maybe I want to add 10 and 5, this is what I'm gonna do. If I know the value of those numbers, you declare variables. So I can say A equals 5. Press enter, go to the next line, and then you say B equals 20. Now to add A and B together, you declare a new variable and you call it whatever you like. C equals A plus B. A plus B, you can give a space if you want, it doesn't matter. You can do that for readability, or they can be together, it doesn't matter. Now you've added A and B together, and the value is being held in a variable called C. To display the result, you need to use your print statement. So you can say print open parenthesis and C. Now your parentheses can be together with the print, it doesn't matter. Now A is the name of a variable which you can call anything you want. You can call it whatever you want, and then b is the name of the second variable, and we assigned 20 to b, we assigned 5 to a. Now we declared another variable to store the sum of 5 and 20, and so we say c equals a plus b, and then we say print c. Once you are done, you go to run, click on run, and then you click on start debugging, and then just click on Python debugger here and click on Python file. And then once it finished compiling, it displays the results. This is it, 25. This is the answer. So this is how to perform basic, addition. Now, to do subtraction, you just need to change this to the minus sign. So I'm just gonna copy this entire code, or I'm not gonna copy it, I'm gonna leave it. So for subtraction, you can use a different variable name. So I'm gonna say arrow equals 10. Then I will say t equals 20. And then I will say the answer, for example, the answer equals arrow plus f. Then to display the result now, if you run it like this now, you're not gonna see any answer that is displayed. So to display this, you need to print it, print, and then you open parentheses, and then you say the answer inside it. It's as simple as this. Now, if I run this application, this code is gonna run, and this code is gonna run. So what you need to do is to comment out this code. Once you add a comment to this code, then it makes this code inactive, so it's not gonna execute again. Now we have different types of comments. We have single line comments, and then we also have multi-line comments. For single line, for example, if I have something like this, maybe I have some d equals a minus b. Now I want to comment this out because I don't want it to execute. I can simply come in front of this and press shift and hash. So this is now a comment. It's not gonna run, it wouldn't be active. So this is a single line comment, and then for a multi-line comment, you simply come to the top of your code and then put 3 of it. So 3 quotes up and then 3 quotes down. So this is a multi-line comment. It comments the entire block of code. 3 quotes up and 3 quotes down is multi-line comments, while single comment is just hash. Now this has been commented out, and then only this is gonna run. So go to file, click on save all, and then you come to this run and click on start debugging. Now this is the result. 30 is the result. So this I did arrow plus f instead of arrow minus f, and then let me just add a few more operations. So this is for subtraction. I'm gonna do for multiplication. So for multiplication, I'm gonna declare a variable. I'll call it the multiple, for example. The multiple, or whatever you want to call your variable name. The multiple equals, this is gonna be arrow multiply by f. Now, if I want to print this result as well, you can put your print statement on a different line if you want. I'm gonna say print parentheses and then the multiple. Yeah, this is it. You can also put it on the same print statement if you want as well. So I'm gonna do this, the multiple, put comma, the answer. Yeah, so this is gonna run. I'm gonna go to, you don't need this three. I'm just trying to tell you, if you need to print only the addition, for example, only this subtraction, you can simply leave only print the answer. If you want to print the result of the subtraction and the multiplication, you can also print the answer and the multiple. But if you want to leave them on the same print statement, you can put them together. So I'm gonna comment out these two. To comment it out, I can highlight the codes I want to comment, press Ctrl and press Shift and /. You highlight the code, the block of code you want to comment, you press and Ctrl and /. So it's gonna put a hash on the codes that you highlighted, which are single line comments. Yeah. However, if you want to do it this way, then we need to, let's format this. Otherwise, this is the multiple and the answer, they're gonna be joined together. So first of all, put an F, F formatted string in front, then open a quote, and then open a quote at the end here as well. Let me increase the size of my screen. So open another quote here at the end and then type something. I'm gonna remove, let me just remove this, let me remove everything and start afresh so you understand better. So I'm gonna say print, open parenthesis, f string, quote, and then you type the addition, subtraction. The subtraction is, and then you open curly braces, and then you type the answer. Put a comma, and then you type the multiplication is, you open curly brace as well, inside it you type the multiple. Now this message can be anything. I'm just trying to format it, and also this message can be anything. So with this message, the user will know what this answer is all about and what this answer is all about. So you can use whatever message you want. You can also do without the message like I did here, the answer or the multiple. And now you click on File, go to Save All, and then you can click on Run and Debug. So it's gonna run your code and then show you the answer. So here it is now. The subtraction is -10, the multiplication is 200. So this is how to perform basic arithmetic operations in Python. And then you can use multiplication, minus, you can use division. You can say the division equals arrow divided by f. So you can do all of this, and you can also print this if you want. So yeah, these are the basic arithmetic operations: addition, minus, division, multiplication. We also have raised to power, which is double asterisk, and so on. Now let me take off these comments. Here now, we've done addition by saying C equals A plus B. Now, some people may decide to use the math class, and then they can say something like the sum. I'm gonna come up here. Now, instead of using A plus B, let me take off this one, and then let me comment out A plus B. Now, instead of using A plus B, they can say C equals sum, parentheses, and then square brackets, A, comma, B. Now, this sum is a math class in Python, and this is exactly what it does. It simply adds A plus B. But when you use it, you don't know that it's just doing C equals A plus B. So this is what I talked about classes and using inbuilt functions. When you use them so much, you wouldn't understand the underlying logic behind some of your code. So this is just, rudimental stuff. You can use it or you can use this. But just to buttress my point, so you can say C equals A plus B, or you use this C equals sum A comma B. So if you print C, it's gonna give you the same output. If you comment this out, and then you print C, it's gonna give you the same output. So let me comment out this one. So I highlight everything and press Control and press forward button, and then it has commented everything out. I can go to File, click on Save All, and then you click on Run and Debug. Now this is the output. 25 is the output. If you want to run this with a message, you can simply come here and then you can open your quotes and then you type the sum is, close it, put a comma, and see. So even without using the F string, it's still gonna print it for you. So I'm gonna click on File and then say Save All, and then I'm gonna run and debug again. And here it is. This is it. The sum is 25. That is the output. Now let me show you another example. So yeah, I'm gonna let me reduce this. So these codes, you can type it exactly the way I typed it, and then you can comment it out so that you can make reference later. Now I want to find the greater number between two variables. So I'm gonna say first equals 10, second equals 20. Now I want to check which number is greater between these two using programming logic. So I'm gonna say if first is greater than second, then I say print, I put it in quotes. Strings need to be in quotes, so you open a string. It can be a double quote like this or a single quote. I will say the greater number is, and then here comma first, because in here I'm saying first is 10, second is 20, and I say if first is greater than second, then the greater number is first. Then I put an else statement now, else colon, go down, else print the greater number is comma second. Now is this simple? Now here I'm using else because it's just two variables, just first and second. If I have more than this, I can use elif statement. So we're gonna run this first and then we see the output. So let me comment this out so that only this code will run. So I highlight and then I press on Control and /, and then I go to File, I'll say Save All, and then I click on Run and Debug. Now this is the output. The greater number is 20 because second is greater than first. Now this same thing I did using if and else statements, someone else can use inbuilt classes and say, maybe I'll say the first, let me separate it with underscore for readability. The first underscore number equals 30. The second underscore number equals 50. Now, variable names cannot have a space in between, so you need to separate them with an underscore, and it cannot be a hyphen as well. Now, someone can say the greater equals max, open parenthesis, max, open parenthesis, the first, comma, the second. And then you say print, in quotes, the greater number is, comma, the greater. So now you see these two code does exactly the same thing, but in here I'm using if and else statements, while here someone else use inbuilt max class in Python, this max, so you declare a variable name and then you say max, the first, comma, the second. This also works and this is simpler, but this teaches you how to use conditional statements, if and else statements. And so when you're developing real world application, you will be more diverse than the person that uses this. Because for example, in Django, this may not work, or maybe there are other operations you may need to perform that this may not work, but if and else statement will always work. This is what I said earlier in my introductory speech, that the less classes you use, the less inbuilt functions and inbuilt classes and libraries you use, the better for your knowledge. So you must learn how to do things the hard way or the right way, because someone somewhere have built this max class using if and else statements, and then you are just implementing what some other person have built. So it will work, but you don't understand the underlying logic behind this max class. But someone that does this understands the underlying logic behind what they have done. So now let's do for the next example. So in here we did a comparison of two numbers. We checked the greater number between first and second. So let me do another one. So I'm just gonna say AA equals 10, BB equals 40, and CC equals 70. Now to do a comparison of these three numbers, you say if AA is greater than BB and AA is greater than CC. So I've compared the three, then I'm gonna say print the greater is, comma, AA. Now you go to the next line and you take your indentation to the same indent with the if, and you say elif BB BB is greater than AA and BB is greater than CC. You say print quotes the greater is comma BB. Now you've compared to, so any other scenario that means CC is the greater, so you can come and say else quotes colon print quotes the greater is CC. That's it. Now I can save my file, save all, and then I will comment this off, control and /. I'm also gonna comment this off, control and /, so that only this block of code will execute. Now I go to file and save all, and then run and debug. So now as you can see, it's showing the greater is 70 on my console. So yeah, this is how to compare 3 or more variables. Now if you don't want to use the if and else statement, you can simply use this example that we did, max. You can use the max class, this max, you know. So in here you can say, I'll just call it the greater equals, you put max, you type max, and then parentheses, you say AA, comma, BB, comma, and CC. And then you can now print the greater. So this max function, this max class is gonna, you know, do the same. It's gonna make this comparison for you, and then, you know, give you the output. But like I said, when you use classes excessively, you're not gonna understand the underlying logic behind what you're doing. But with this now, it teaches you how to write, you know, if and else statement, which you can apply in other areas as well. Now these examples we've been doing, we've been defining values. We define a variable and then assign a value to it. So this is the variable name, and this is the value, variable name and value. Now in a situation whereby you don't know the values, how will you do? So maybe you want the user to input numbers, and then you make calculation based on the user's inputs. How are you gonna do it? You're gonna use the input statement, and that's what we're gonna do now. So I'm just gonna comment of this. I'm gonna comment of this. You can also comment out your code, and then if you want anyone to run, you can uncomment it and then execute it. Yeah, so I'll comment this, then I'm just gonna go to the top and write the code now. So this example, I want to get input from user and use it to perform arithmetic operations. So define a variable as well. You can say AA equals, you type int, integer type, and then you open parentheses, and then you type input, you open parentheses, and you enter your message. You open a quote now, you say please enter first value, and then you declare the next variable. You call it, let's say BB. Like I told you, your variable name can be anything. Equals, you say int as well, input. So this input keyword is gonna enable the application accept users inputs. Inputs, you put parentheses, quotes, please enter the next value. And then now to make the addition, you say sum equals AA plus BB, the same thing, and then you print just display a message, you can simply say sum. It's just gonna display the number, or you can accompany this with message. So I can say something like this: the sum of your inputs is comma and sum. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So once you capture the user's input, you can now perform the arithmetic operation you want to do. I can also come and say sub equals AA minus BB. I can say div equals AA divided by BB. I can say mul equals AA multiplied by BB. Now, if I want to display all the results, let me put my print statements in different lines. I can say print the of your two inputs is, your message can be anything like I said, so is sub. And then I can say print parentheses quotes the division of your both inputs is comma div. I can print the next print the multiplication of your inputs is comma mul. Yeah, this is it. So now I'm gonna if I want my print statement to be in the same line like we did before, you can simply say print. Let me put it in an F formatted string. I say F, I open a quote, I say the sum is, and then curly brace sum, right? The sum. I can put a comma. The sub is open curly brace. I say sub, and then put comma. Division is curly brace div, and then comma. Multiplication is curly brace mul. I just went to a new line by pressing enter, but I can reduce this and then take it back. Yeah, so this is it. With this, you can print on the same line, and then if you want, you don't have to accompany this with strings. You can also take them off, you know. Yeah, so this is it. This is it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it back, and then now I would save my changes, file, save all, and then go to these three dots, run, and start debugging. Now it's saying enter first value, so I'm gonna put 30, and then you press enter. It will ask you, it will prompt you to enter second value. I'm gonna input 40, press enter, and then it's saying the sum is 70, comma, the subtraction is -10, division is 0.5, multiplication is 1200. So there needs to be space here. Give a space, so this will have space, you know. And then for this one, for this print that is on different lines, this is it. The subtraction of your two input is -10, division of both input is 0.75, the multiplication of your both input is 1200. Now, some people think that learning this is waste of time, but no, it's not waste of time because it gives you the fundamentals. And then, for example, if when you start building big applications, for example, you're building an e-commerce application and you want to calculate, the cart items of the user, what are you going to do? You're going to perform arithmetic operation. If you want to build an application that calculates tax, you're going to use arithmetic operations, just like we've done. So yeah, this is how to, capture the user's inputs and then use them to perform, arithmetic operations. Now, you declared the input as integer, and so an integer is a whole number, right? Now, if the user inputs a non-number, for example, the user puts an alphabet instead of integer, what is going to happen? Your program is going to break and it's going to have an error. So how are you going to, do that? We're going to use a try statement, to make sure that the user's input is validated, and then the program will not break if the user don't put a number and maybe the user enters, stuff like alphabet or any other character. So I will comment out this code and then we're gonna do another one using the try statements. So now, before I use the try statement, let me run this application so you understand what I'm talking about. So I'll go to File, I'll go to Save All, and then I'm just gonna click on, let me clear my screen, let me clear my terminal so nothing will be here. To do that, just come to your terminal and then type clear. So everything is gonna wipe off now. Now, go back to these three dots and then click on Run and then click on Start Debugging. So now I have entered the first value and instead of integer, I'm gonna put alphabets and I press enter. So you see my program is broken, there's an error. So how to avoid this, because you can never predict what the user is gonna input. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop this application that is running. I just press Ctrl C and it's saying, look, invalid literal for integer with base 10 JQ HKJ. That is what I inputted. Now this is what we're gonna do. So the first thing you do is I can modify this code and add the try statement, but I'm not gonna do that. I want you to understand it, so I'm gonna type a new code from afresh. So you just have to say try and then you put a colon, press enter, and then you continue your coding. You say AA equals int parentheses input and then parentheses quotes. This can be double quotes or it can be a single quote. Enter first value, and then you do the same thing. Baby equals int parentheses input quotes, enter second value. Now I'm gonna say sum. I'm gonna say the sum equals AA plus baby. Then I'm gonna say sub equals AA minus baby. I'm gonna say more equals AA asterisk and baby. Then I'm gonna say div equals AA divided by baby. Now I'm gonna say print. Let me just use the F formatted string, and put my print statement in a single line. So F quote curly brace sub, right, sub, and then comma, curly brace, the sum. I want to print all of them, comma, curly brace, more, comma, curly brace, and div. Yeah, this is it. So now I'm having an error on my try statement because I need to close it out. So now come to your line, press backspace to be on the same line with the try, then you type except value error, and then you put this, press enter, and then you write print enter valid integer or whatever you want, yeah. So it says, you say try, you should perform this if everything is good. If an integer is entered, integer for first value is entered, integer for second value is entered, it will perform all this, and make this print statement, except it notices a value error. Instead of an integer, the user imputes whatever, maybe a non-integer, and then it should print enter valid integer. So with this, you validated it, and then you wouldn't have the value error again, and your application is not gonna break. So I'm just gonna go to file and click on save all, and then I'll go to these three dots and click on run, and then start debugging. Now I have please enter first value, so I'm gonna put a non-integer. I'm gonna put whatever I want and press enter. Okay, I'm having that error because my application broke up because I still have this code that's I didn't comment it out. So this is what caused that breakage. So I'm gonna comment out this code that don't have the try and except block. So control and /. So I have just this code that is gonna run, and this code have the try and except block. Now I'm gonna go to file, click on save all, and then go back to these three dots and then run, start debugging. An instance is already running, so I'm just gonna click on yes. Now the best thing I want to do is just to close this terminal. So I'll come here and let me close it. Even if this is gonna run, click on cancel. I'll kill terminal, kill this. I'm also gonna kill this, and then I'll open new terminal, yeah, and then I'll go back to these three dots and then click on run and click on start debugging. Now enter first value, so I'm gonna put whatever I want. Instead of integer, press enter. Now you see the application did not break. It says enter first value, then it gave me an error message, enter valid integer. This is the error message I displayed. So for this, the application did not break, rather it stopped. So there was no error, it just stopped, because we use this try and except. But in a real world application, you wouldn't want your application to stop just because the user imputed a non-integer type. So you need to add while true statements to your application, so that when the application detects an invalid type, then your program won't stop, rather it will give the user opportunity to repeat, type the value again. So we're gonna do that now. So take note of this. We use try and except value error. Now we're gonna use while true statements. Now take note of your indentation very well. When you type try, look at the indents, and then your except is also on the same line as a try. Now when you use while true statement, the while true has to be the first, and then try will be indented, to the right, and then you have your logic, and then except is gonna be on the same line with the try. So I can just modify this, but I'm not gonna do that. Rather, we're gonna start all over again using the while true statement. So the first thing you want to do is type while true. So this application will keep on running until the correct data type is entered, while true. Then you press enter, you say try, and then colon, and then I'm not gonna type all this again, rather I'm just gonna copy everything here. I'm gonna copy this logic, and then I'm gonna add it here. Yeah, this is it. So my code is not well indented, so I will take this back. I'll just take this back, and then now I'll press enter. So yeah, this is on the same line. So I'm gonna move BB forward one step. The sum is gonna go one step to the right. Sum is gonna go one step to the right. I can highlight everything and do it once, but I'm just gonna continue like this. And then div is gonna go one step to the right. Print is gonna go one step to the right. Now you come in here and then you type except value error. Yeah, and then my message now, I'm gonna type copy this, print, and paste it. So this application will keep running until these conditions are met. The user inputs valid integer. Yeah, so now I'm gonna comment out this previous code, control and /, and so I have just this with my while true, and then I'll click on file and save all. Now I'll go to my three dots, go to terminal, go to run, and then click on start debugging. So now it says enter first value, enter first value. So instead of putting an integer value, I'm just gonna put whatever I want, and then I press enter. So you see it says enter valid integer, and then it starts the application again by saying enter first value. So I'm gonna put the correct type, 73. I press enter, it's gonna move. It says enter second value. I'm gonna type rubbish again, and then press enter. It will say, it comes back again and say enter first value. I'm gonna input 73, and then enter second value. I'm gonna put 87. I press enter, and you see it has given me the calculation. So this while true now, with this while true, our program did not break. It didn't stop. It just kept on asking me to enter the value. It starts all over again, and then gives me the correct output. So now for this code, the application did not break, and it did not stop. But what happened is, whenever there is an invalid input, it starts from afresh again. So if you enter a correct value here on the first one, it goes to the second one, and if you input a wrong value, what happens is it goes back to this first one and asks you to enter the first value again, because the entire logic is inside our while true statement. So we will modify this code so that wherever it observes an irregular input, it just continues from there instead of starting the application all over again. So we're gonna do that now. Now you type while true, and then you say try, and then I'm gonna copy this logic now. Int a equals, I'm gonna do this, paste it. Yeah, so let me comment out this code first. I'm gonna comment this out, then yeah, I will say while true, try, then you say break. So if there's an invalid input, it should break. And then you come to this point, go to the same line with the while true, and then you type except value error, and then you input your message. You say print please enter valid integer. Yeah, so we have to do this for each of our inputs. Now you come to the next line, you type while true, and then you say try. You say baby equals int inputs enter second value, and then the same thing, you type break, then you go to the next line, you say except value error, and then you say print enter second value, integer value. Or you can simply say invalid characters detected, please enter valid integer, or whatever you want. Yeah, so now we need to perform the arithmetic operations. Now come to the next line, you can now say try, and then you say sum equals AA plus BB. I can say more equals AA multiplied by BB. I can say div equals AA divided by BB, and then press enter, and then I can say except division by zero error, then it should print division by zero is not allowed. This is maybe high school mathematics. You can't divide by zero, Yeah, so this is it, and then try. I need to print the output now. I can say print F formatted string quotes. I'll just put curly brace, and I will say sum, comma, curly brace again. I'll put more, comma, then curly brace again. I'll put div, and yeah, this is it. So now this application is not gonna break anymore. Rather, wherever it detects an error, it's just gonna continue from there. So yeah, this is the full code. Let me reduce this a little bit so my screen will be more visible. Yeah, this is it. So now I'm gonna click on file, and let me reduce this furthermore. Okay, that's it. I need to let me remove white space. So I want everything to be visible in case you need to take screenshots. Yeah, so this is it. While true, then try, do this, and then yeah. Now I'll click on file, click on save all. Now go back to these three dots, run, and then you click on start debugging. Another instance is running. I'm just gonna kill everything, kill my terminal, go back to terminal, new terminal, and then go back to these three dots, run, start debugging. So now it says enter first value, so I'm gonna put valid integer, press enter. It says enter second value. Instead of putting an integer, I'll put rubbish and then press enter. So it said invalid character detected, please enter valid integer, enter second value. So it is not asking me to enter first value again, it's asking me to enter the second value. So if I type rubbish again, it's still gonna ask me to enter the second value until the right integer is gotten. So now, but you can also, write the program in a way that if the user inputs rubbish maybe 5 times or a particular number of times, the program should just terminate. You can do that, yeah, just like when you can write an application that can lock a device when a user inputs their password more than 3 times, or it can just lock the account. These are real life application of what we're doing. So I'm just gonna put valid integer now, 76, press enter, and then you see it's calculated 154,592,8 1.000. Yeah, so yeah, this is how to use while true statements to validate a user's input. Now the last thing we'll do for these lectures is to create a loop. So I've commented out our previous code, and now we want to run an infinite loop using while statements. So I've shown you how to use while true statement, I've shown you how to use try statements. Now I'm gonna show you how to use, I've also shown you how to use if statement. We've used if and else statements, and then we've also used if statement, elif statement, and else statement. So I'm gonna show you how to use while statement. So now I'm gonna write a new code. I'm gonna say a equals to 100. Now I will say while a is greater than 10, print quote, this loop would run forever. So I said a is 10, 100, and while a is greater than 10, so it will keep on printing this loop will run forever because a will always be greater than 10. A is 100, it will always be greater than 10. So now I'll click on file, click on save all, and then I'll go to my 3 dots and run and start debugging. Yeah, so this loop, this is how it's going to run forever. So it will keep on running forever, but I'm gonna stop it by clicking on this kill terminal. So now, what if we want this statement to print just 5 times? What are we gonna do? Instead of running forever, it should print 5 times. So I'm gonna write it now. So this is what we do. I'm gonna declare a variable. I will say a equals 0, and then I'm now gonna say while a is less than or equals to 10, I'll say print this loop would run 10 times. Now I need to increment the value of a. So I'll come here and say a space plus equals to 1. So when this loop runs the first time, the value of a is going to be 1. It runs the second time, the value of a will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So while it's less than or equals to 10, it will print until when the value of a becomes 10, it will stop. So this is a simple logic you can apply, to make sure a user doesn't input password more than a certain number of times. Just, a real world application of a while loop, or maybe you are taking inventory, of items and you want on the user to input, the value of an item just 5 times, stuff like that. Now I'm gonna comment out this forever loop, and then I will go to file and click on save all, and then I'll go to these 3 dots and click on run and click on start debugging. So here you go, you can see it has printed, for 10 times, and then it stopped. It stopped at this point. So yeah, this is it. So this a plus equals to 1 is the same thing as a equals to a plus 1. So the value of a is 0. After the first loop, it takes the value of 0, adds it to a and add plus 1. So the second time is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to comment this one out for you so you can know, other ways to get it done. Go to file and go to save all. So this is where I'm going to stop the lectures today. And then, we'll do a couple of more lectures on these fundamental stuffs. When we cover all the concepts that we need to cover, then we're gonna start building console application or CLI applications. We'll build, a banking app. We'll build inventory app. We'll build a to-do application. We'll build random number generation. Some games. An e-commerce application as well. Just console application where just on this terminal, you will see some information, you input what you want, it validates you, calculates, a few stuff and all the rest. By the time we build like 5 applications, they will really understand the fundamental concept of Python. I will make sure that we cover everything from beginner stage to intermediate stage to advanced stage before you can now move over, and start doing higher level stuffs, using framework. This is the only way that you can learn programming effectively, and you don't have to, keep on jumping from one framework to the other, or looking for, one library or class, to solve simple problems that you could have solved with, Python codes. So yeah, I'm gonna stop these lectures here for today, and then I want to show you something. The best resource that you can use in learning, Python, it's on Python documentation. Now, developers, we don't know everything. It's not like we have everything magically in our head, but everyone uses Python documentation. So this is the official Python documentation. Just come to docs.python.org/3, and then you're gonna see tutorial. Once there's any feature of Python, I am not the developer of Python, so once there's any feature or there's any update, this is where we get it. So all the videos you find on YouTube or wherever you find on net, everyone learns Python programming. Not everyone, most people learn Python through the documentation, and then some other people do YouTube videos, and then other people learn, from YouTube, from books and all those. But when you come to this Python documentation, you get first-hand information. But it is important for you to learn from experienced developers, because instead of struggling on your own, we can explain complex concepts in simple terms for you. But then you need to augment your learning with this Python documentation. You can't watch only YouTube videos, because there is no way that everything is gonna be covered. But when you learn on YouTube, you can come to Python documentation. You will see everything here. Look at if statement, for statement, range, break, else, pass, just a whole lot of everything about Python, core Python, that you need to do. So if you click on, let me say, match statement now, you're gonna see some examples, and yeah, explanation of what it's all about. Yeah, so this is one of your best resource on it to learn Python. And then yeah, if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and like the videos. When you subscribe, you're gonna receive notification whenever I drop a new video. And then yeah, if you come to my channel, you will see I have some range of playlists. I'm teaching high level stuff like React, Python and Django REST framework, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. I'm teaching Git and version control, Docker and Kubernetes, C# and ASP.NET, Java, and other random stuff. So like my video and subscribe to my channel, and then I'll see you again in the coming days. Thank you very much, and bye bye.